Donald Trump declares the Venezuelan government a terrorist organization. Trump orders the total and complete blockage of all sanctioned oil tankers.
In the 4 years before I took office, our southern border was surrendered to criminals, drug cartels, human traffickers, and child smugglers. Our entire southwest border on the Mexican side is under the physical control of cartels that are among the most violent entities nobody's ever seen anywhere on the planet, the most violent people on the planet. Remember when the Democrats and others, the radical left, used to say that the people they're allowing into our country, immigrants, are nice people. They're not violent like our people. Well, they make our people look like babies. These are some of the most violent criminals anywhere on earth, from many countries, not just Venezuela.
Maduro regime urges the UN to condemn the U.S.'s theft of its oil. A stunning escalation in the long-running U.S.-Venezuela standoff. The U.S. President, Donald Trump, in a post on Truth Social, dropped an unexpected bombshell, sending shockwaves across its Latin American foe, Venezuela. In an unprecedented move, Trump declared the Venezuelan government a terrorist organization in his latest bid to further tighten his chokehold on Nicolás Maduro. Ramping up further pressure on Venezuela's authoritarian regime, Trump also announced a total and complete blockage of sanctioned oil tankers. Trump said, and I quote, "Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. It will only get bigger, and the shock to them will be like nothing they have ever seen before, until such time as they return to the United States of America all of the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us. The illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields to finance themselves, drug terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping. For the theft of our assets and many other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking, the Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization. Therefore, today I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that the Maduro regime has sent into the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminals, terrorists, or other countries to rob, threaten, or harm our nation, and, likewise, will not allow a hostile regime to take our oil, land, or any other assets, all of which must be returned to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Unquote. Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves. It produces approximately 1 million barrels a day and has long relied on oil revenue as a vital source of its economy. Now, Donald Trump wants to puncture that jugular. Since the Trump administration began imposing oil sanctions on Venezuela in 2017, Maduro's government has relied on a shadowy fleet of unflagged tankers to smuggle crude into global supply chains. The state-owned oil company Petróleos de Venezuela S.A., commonly known as PDVSA, has been excluded from global oil markets due to U.S. sanctions. It sells most of its exports at a steep discount in the black market in China. In October, Trump appeared to confirm reports that Maduro has offered a stake in Venezuela's oil and other mineral wealth in recent months to try to stave off mounting pressure from the United States. Venezuela, meanwhile, has fired back, taking its outrage straight to the United Nations. Venezuela's envoy accused Washington of state-sponsored piracy, demanding international condemnation.
The government of Venezuela demands from the government of the United States of America the immediate and unconditional release of the kidnapped crew.
The immediate restitution of Venezuelan oil that was illegally confiscated on the high seas.
The immediate cessation of any forceful action or any interference against the legal marketing of Venezuelan oil. Venezuela respectfully calls upon the Security Council to, firstly, publicly condemn this act of state-sponsored piracy, the illegitimate use of military force against a private vessel, and the theft of a cargo that was the product of lawful international trade. Simusaya Fayuodosia Sala to act in accordance with his primary responsibilities to preserve the safety of maritime navigation and international trade, which are gravely threatened by this precedent.
But the confrontation is no longer limited to diplomacy. U.S. forces have stepped up lethal operations at sea. On Monday, American military strikes hit 3 vessels accused of drug smuggling in the eastern Pacific Ocean, killing 8 people. The Pentagon says the targets were linked to designated terrorist organizations. Trump has justified the attacks as part of what he now openly calls an armed conflict with drug cartels. More than 90 people have reportedly been killed since September in U.S. attacks on dozens of vessels in the eastern Pacific Ocean and Caribbean Sea near Venezuela. Trump has for weeks said that the U.S. will move its campaign beyond the water and start strikes on land. However, his campaign has drawn bipartisan scrutiny among U.S. lawmakers.
Times of India videos, your daily dose of India and the world. Global news, different views, and sharp analysis.
Pressure of expectation from your fans, your supporters.
That has often served as a backdrop for several Bollywood.
You're not a brute majority anymore. If you individually take out data.
Making sense of global conflicts. Tracking the new emerging world order.
Strike on Israeli military bases.
A multi-pronged.
To stay out of harm's way as Israel started bombing targets across.
Understanding changing alliances in a polarized world. Tune into TOI videos for all this and more. Click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an update.